Hey class, this is part 2 of percents. We're gonna go ahead and now we're gonna use a different example, but we're gonna go from percent to decimal, decimal to fraction. So here we started with 1/2, went this way, then we even came back this way, but you know, we'll see how it is as we're going, how we feel as we're going. So I'm gonna go ahead and erase this, part 1. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this up here though. It's kind of a little graphic organizer for us, right? So we have fraction, decimal, percent, and we're gonna start off this one with 80%. Okay, so go ahead and rewrite underneath part 1, right? You want to have 80% as our percent, and then we're gonna see how we can get these decimals, these fractions. Okay, so let's write it down here. We got 80%. We know that the decimal is right here. We talked about that last time. Okay, for part 1, I'm sorry. We talked about that for part 1. Decimal is right here for a percent. Okay, now if we want to go from a percent to a decimal, which way are we going? Which way are we going? Left, right? So we're going to move the decimal to the left 2 times. 1, 2. And so we were going from a percent to a decimal. So do we need the percent sign anymore? No, right? We don't need the percent sign. And this is where the decimal is now. 8 is right to the right of it. And you can even put a 0 here. And we end up with that decimal right there. 0.8. So we converted from 80% to the decimal 0.8. By moving the decimal over, booty cheeks, right? Right, yeah. So 1, 2, moved it over 2 times, right? And so that's where, that's how we convert a percent to a decimal. Now, we want to go from a decimal to a fraction. Now, how do we read 0.8? How did we read it in 5th grade? What place value is this? This is the ones place. What's the first one? Tenths, right? And so this is actually 8 tenths, right? 8 tenths with the THS. Now, that tells me that this is 8 over what? 8 tenths. What's in the denominator? 10, right? Now we can reduce this. What can we reduce this by? What can we reduce this fraction by? We always have to reduce. You wouldn't want to write this here. You want to reduce it. What are we going to reduce this by? What number can we reduce this fraction by? 2, right? When whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. 8 divided by 2, we get 4. 10 divided by 2, we get 5. And that is fully reduced because the 5 is prime, right? And we just converted from a percent to a decimal, and a decimal to a fraction. Okay? All right. Thanks for watching, guys.